Welcome to Trading Lounge and the commodities for the 4th of November. So the iron ore chart here, it's halted traded a few times, but this is a daily chart and I've lost my my count on it, in my labeling rather. But I can see from this point here that we still need to work lower here. So I'll work on that, but yeah, just expect this to get a bit bouncy in here for a move lower into the 500 area here. So obviously that's going to put pressure on iron ore stocks, which we are seeing at the moment. So we've got about 2 weeks to the downside here to finish this particular trend off at that point. So that's all I've got to say on that. Now I want to have a look at gold, but I want to have a look at GDX first, so just bear with me for a second or two. Bring up this other charting program. So this is quite sort of interesting, I think, because in the bigger picture here I was looking for the A wave, the B wave and the C wave here. Then we were looking for wave 1. And then we were looking back for wave 2 to come into the box here. So it's in the box here at the moment. I was figuring that this here would all just be the A wave here, and then this would be the B wave to come up here a little bit further maybe, and then the C wave down here, and then move up from that point, But we may actually have a low in here. I just need to do a little bit of work on it. I haven't had a chance to do that this morning today. These are our little 5 waves up here, but it is looking rather impulsive off there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's one wave structure. This is, let me check 1, 2. I'll start from here, start from the bottom. So that's 5, 4, 3. One of 2, one of what if we can go from that point. This there to there. See, that leaves us with this structure. So I'm just shooting the breeze here a little bit, so working on the hop. So we could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. That would be that. So that would give us, at this point from the top there, the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave to that point. We may have a low in here, Still, if that's the case, what we'll do is we will just... if it's a B wave going up, then we're going to be coming up... because it's a wave 2 pulling up here, so from the bottom here somewhere, if we look up here as wave 1 and back for wave 2 and 3, 4, 5 up there somewhere. If we're going from 1 to 2, it should be a zigzag. It should be a 5, 3, 5 structure. It's a bit elongated for that, but it's there. So we just need to start breaking down the problem a little bit in different ways. So I'm just working on the hop here, so apologies about that. I haven't had time to do everything that I need to do. So that's where the problem's going to be, which is going to be sort of interesting anyway, because for me, that 33, where we see a 3 is part of group 1, so that 33 there. So getting support on top of that pushes us to the upside. But what we can do in the meantime is we can look at, let's just see if we get a little 5 waves up here first, shall we? Let's just see if we get those. If we get those, we're not going to be too far out of the race anyway, because what will happen, if we get these 5 waves here, then we'll buy the pullback. If we get 5 waves to the 56, if we get 5 waves to the box, then we'll be looking at a 3 wave counter trend, and then we'll go, then we can go long from that point. And that means we can just go long above here for that. Or we can even go back here, because we get 5 here, we can buy the pullback wherever it comes to. So anyway, we'll we'll work on that. And this is interesting because of US spot gold. Okay, so, and not only that, Newcrest Mining that we had a look at this morning in the Australian video, and so on. So let's just have a look at US spot gold. So this is the weekly chart here, and we've been looking at a triangle pattern here. Now it's a bit of a tricky pattern. It's not easy, and it's very easy to get wrong here. So one of the things that that we could have in our toolbox to call the low in and to go long is to have that 1800 as a nice tested support, but we've never had that. It never found it when it checked it here, and here, but it eventually will get it, but that's one thing that we could look at. There's different ways to look at this. We still could run with the irregular flat of the A, the B and the C here, and then up for 1 and back for 2, up for 1 and back for 2. The trouble with that is that this move up here, look, it's a bit rugged, really. It's a bit rough and ready, so it could be anything, really. It could be corrective, it could be impulsive. I'm not quite sure. It's not clear, so better off saying I don't know than what it is. So, but even so, even if we look at the irregular flat would be the ABC here, and then the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then we just push straight up. So we can go long above the 1800. So that's not a problem. The situation is that if the triangle is correct, then the A, the B, the C, and A, B, C for the D wave here. So we can call the D wave in place on top there, and then the E wave here. So from that low, which I could probably lift up a bit because this is from a market maker and they had to make the market here. So COMEX futures and spot didn't make a new low below here. So what you want to do is take 61.8% from from D really to here, which will leave us sort of back down here in a way. So we could be in this E-wave situation coming into play here. So I'll be aware of both counts. Let's just go in. This is the weekly, so for the daily chart here. Because with that GDX that we're looking at, if that low's in place, well then we're on our way to the upside at that point, aren't we? We should just go straight up from that point. I mean, that would be nice and solve a lot of problems and we'd all be happy and we can all go home. But I don't know if that's going to be the case, or it's going to get more complicated within here. And as I mentioned, this little move up through here, you could count it in so many different ways. But even whichever way you count it, I haven't seen a count that really nails it down properly anyway. So, yeah, so anyway, we've got a little support on this trend line here, but as a wave D here, we could have it in place, I mean, it's certainly an idea to go in the hat, in terms of an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for the D wave, and then we're into the E wave here. So the E wave here I don't particularly want to take that low down here. I'm going to take that second low here. That would be a little bit more in line with COMEX at that point. So I'll take that low and then the top of C of D here. And then that would leave us with this situation here. So just pulling that into there. That's our baseline there. So it's funny when you're in triangles, it doesn't always respect the 50 and the 61.8%. It kind of respects the triangle a bit more in some regards. So yeah, but going by the book a little bit, we should be sort of in there. So this move down through here, we can have that as that, right? And that's come down to the 61.8%, hit that trend line there. We're getting a bounce that can go back up 61.8%, and then we can come down for this little guy. We better bring that down. I'll take it on to the 50 because I just like number 5. So we could have a nice tight situation here, whoopsie-daisy, in here for this. And as I mentioned before, with all of this coming into this space here, having this as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here and going up, there won't be a lot of difference between the irregular flat and the triangle in this space. But I don't have any answers yet for this, so we need to we'll need to accommodate a move to 1750 here. Put that back on on the number. Yeah, so that's kind of it really. So on the, I don't know if I've got it on the 4-hour chart or not. We'll just have a quick look. Yeah, so we can have it as wave 2 down here, like 1 here and 2 here and 1 here and 2 here. In that case, we'd have to put this spike that came in through here. I wouldn't sort of concern myself about that too much, but I still need from this low here, I'd go to this point here for that. And that would leave us with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. But even the C wave here doesn't count very well because it doesn't really have 5 waves down through here unless I'm missing something. But let's just see how that sort of plays out anyway at that point as a wave 4. There may be just another move down here. I mean, you'd think there should be another move like that first as 5 waves of 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's pulled up really high as wave 4 there as well. So yeah, something's not quite gelling at that point. And it would look like this here for that, but I just don't get 5. Maybe I can get 1 and 2 in here and 3, 4, 5. Yeah, maybe it fits. And it's looking rather impulsive up there as well, isn't it? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you know, we could be getting lucky here. I mean, the whole thing's a mess, really. We're just doing our best to sort the mess out. So yeah, so in this case here, let's just allow that. It's going to hit this is all a group 2 here, so it's in group 2, and never found the 65 as the resistance. It came through here, so if I was shorting this, I would look at that low to short, then I'd bring it up to that second low, but it popped back in, so that's all good. But what we can do is, or you can do, is when that's finished doing whatever it's doing there, then you'll have an idea of, once that moves up there, it can pull back to the 50-60%, so that will leave us at I'll just say 1765 again, shall we? Close enough there, in there for that little wave 2. Let's just go to the, I just want to have a little look at that thing. I haven't looked at it yet. Well, it's not very helpful, is it? Yep, no, it's not popping out at me. I have to, because it doesn't pop out at me, then I have to go to work on it. But it does look like 1 and 2 here with the third wave into this point or to this point here. What have we got in there then? We've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, we got that 3, 4, 5. So that's all doable. What's that? Yeah, no, I only can see part of it. But like we're just suggesting then, if that pulls back, if that hits up here, okay, we'll pick this up tomorrow. I'll focus on this tomorrow, okay? I don't want to spend too much time on it, but kind of looking interesting at that point. Alrighty, so that's that. I want to have a look at crude next. All my commodities went a bit haywire. Here, crude here, this will do the job. I think. So we're just in this wave 4 here. And sorry for not updating the commodities as well over the last day or so. Sometimes it just gets all a bit much. Okay, well there's the 38.2% there and there, but I can see here and this here, I don't need to pull it apart, I can see it. There's still some wave 4 and wave 5 to go down into this point. So if you're going to go long here, then look for a classic trading levels pattern sitting. I've probably dramatized it a bit too much here, but you know what I mean, like a nice solid support on that. But we'll pick it up tomorrow and then we'll be on that stretch there. So stochastics are pulled back. We've got a nice ABC pattern here. I can see the 1 and 2s in here somewhere. The third wave's in here. We still need a 4 and 5. So a bounce off 7, 8, and then we want to see an impulse wave up here, and we want support on the $80. This is a CFD product, so they're breaking it down to the power of 10. So we'll see support, and we'll look for that trade to the upside there on that. So that's all good, and I'll just bring the other charting program back up, and we need to have a look at copper. So I don't particularly have any answers for this just yet, but what I can tell you is that we definitely in a wave 4 correction, and so if you're in copper stocks, you can expect them to go up at some point. I just don't know if we've got this here as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here as a flat correction, or we're going to go into a triangle pattern. I just don't know that yet, but I don't know which path it's going to follow at this point. So I'll just have to wait on that and do some work. I haven't had time to look at this down here, but it certainly looks impulsive. So that might be the A wave down to here, then the B wave back up, and then the C wave down. We'll see if this comes in. If this is in 3 waves here, then we know that we've got a D and an E at that point, and then we can put that over there for that. But I don't know that just yet for that. NG gas. Okay, so with the gas market. As I may mention again too, this move down through here is definitely in 3 waves. It's definitely corrective. So whatever happens in here is part of that wave 4. So we either go more complicated in here, or we've got wave 4 in place here. I'm kind of betting on that we've got wave 4 already in place, and we've got this as wave 1 to the upside and back for wave 2, and then we'll go up for wave 3, 4, and 5. I need to have a closer look at all of that, of course, so we're just going to go to the 15-minute chart. And let's just run through this. So the top's over here somewhere, there. So we've got this move down through here. It's an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So we've got the first move here in 3 waves, and we've got the B wave and the C wave here. So we know it's corrective. This is a little bit tricky to count, but I did have a bit of a look at it, and I'm quite sort of happy looking at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1. If somebody's got a different count, please let me know. And we've got this here as little 5 waves up here for 1 and 2, a gap in 3 and 4, and then 5 waves in here for 3, 4, and 5. So I'm thinking that's up for wave 1 there. So we need to put that in. I had it on the daily chart, but I'll put it here. And I'll just put these here, and I'll just change this to, I should be using minute degree here, but they're just so big and clunky, so I just like to use the micros because they're a bit more tidy. And I looked at this move here, and it's down in 3 waves, so I don't get 5 waves down here. So we've got the first move here, and then we've got this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it counts nicely as an ABC, and it's nice and simple and sharp like a wave 2 should be. That needs to go above there, of course, and oh well, anyway, you get the picture. Okay, something like that. Yeah, anyway, main point here is that I can count that down as an A and a B, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and that, because that's definitely 5 waves, that's definitely 5 waves, and that's definitely 5 waves. So I don't see it as an impulse wave. I see it as corrective. And then the interesting point over here, this is all pretty scruffy, and you've got to be a bit philosophical about it to a point, but wave 1 and 2, and all this belongs to the same family, and then it goes sideways, so it's got to be a wave 4 here, and then we can look at this as wave 1 to be up here. Now I haven't pulled this apart here. This may be all of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 moving up here a bit further. I'm not sure about that. This is I've got to check on that as well, better dump that. But it doesn't matter. We'll just allow this to do what it needs to do, and then we'll look for an ABC to pull back 50 or 60%, and then we can look to go up, and that should move pretty quickly at that point. And we can also look at going long above this B wave high here. So if we put wave 2 in here somewhere, this ABC here, we can go long here for that. or if we're comfortable with that being 5 waves, then we can buy the pullback into this space as well. So I think that this thing's loading up a little bit, you know. If I go back to the daily chart so we can just see the picture here a bit better. Okay, so I think that's wave 4, right? And then we counted that up there for wave 1, and this move back for wave 2 here, it just meant we could count that in 3 waves. And then this little move here would be wave 1 to the upside. Not quite finished yet. Drop it down a degree, don't need it on that one, we'll just have it on that. And what minute, so we want to drop it into here for that. So yeah, I think we just get that little 1 and 2 in here, and we could be looking at a nice third of a third here, which will push up really quite quickly, which will be good. And it will also be good for Woodside and Santos and other gas stocks that are pulling back at that point as well. So a little bit more work to do here, but the takeaway is it's looking good. So yeah, we'll really focus in on this 2 pullback here over the next day or two. I was just having a quick look at nickel as well. I haven't done a lot of work on it, but it's also setting up for a good thing as well. We've got wave 1 up here and wave 2 here, and then I was looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. So any nickel traders, could be a good third of a third coming up here. That would be crazy, that one, because it's huge, humongous. Anyway, what we'll do with this is that we'll just wait for the A wave to finish, the B and the C. We'll keep an eye on it, won't get involved in it too much. But when it sits on that level again, or we can pick it up over here, that's if this, and we'll go back and have a look at the bigger count as well, so you've got the full picture. But if I'm right, then we're in for a really nice trend up for, from 15 up to 2, like really smartly. Okay, so we've done that. I just want to have a look at the dollar index, which I did put into my new commodity little list here. That's not it. It's DXY here. So, yeah, I'm still on the same track. I know it's boring, but from the low here of wave 3, I've got the A wave, the B wave, and then 1 and 2 here, and 3, an A and a B and a C for 4, and then 1 and 2 and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave up there. So I think we've still got this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I still think there's a little push up here. Now, when it gets to the top here at this point, this box here is the 38.2% retracement level and the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But anything past that, any support on 95, and then we're going to have to call this in. Now, when I say call it in, what I mean by that is that this wave 4 here, that's going to travel over to here, and then this move here as still be corrective, and this wave 5 will come over here, because I've pulled that apart and it can count quite nicely as a 5-wave structure. It's just that it hasn't made a new low here, so we can have that as 3, 4, 5 there. So if I come back over here, from the top here, we'll look at it as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in there. And then from that 2 there, or that 1 there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That all makes sense down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and then the fourth. And then this down here for the fifth of the third. So what we're missing is that fourth and that fifth. But if that's the fifth there, then it would create this as, well, it still could be corrective or an impulse wave, but what we would need to do then is we would need to look further up at that point and go into the next degree higher. So up here, and I'll take that from that low rather than that one, and the 61.8% is up here. So we either need to look at this move from that point. If it sits on 95 and goes above it, I mean gets support on 95, we have to look at that wave 5 being in place, and then we either need to look at the move up to the 61.8% as corrective or impulsive. And if it's impulsive, well then we'll take out that high there. So it's just a work in progress, really, unfortunately. So I'm going to put my little wave 4 back over here somewhere, and just discussing the bigger picture of all of this. So in all of this, so we have to wait for this to play out, unfortunately. So we've been waiting, and we're doing all the right things at the right time. The wave structure expanded to the upside, and we have to move with it. I know that we're all black sheep being traders, but we have to be a white sheep at the moment and follow the trend. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.